Wife professed to me that she wanted to go through with a divorce, but now has changed her mind, having trouble understanding why. Wife and I have been married for 22 years, been together for 24. We have two children, an 18-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. From the start, we both dedicated our life to our children. Neither of us made much, but we still managed to put them through private school. This didn't leave much money and time for wife and I to go out and have fun for our own. Our children always had sports and tutoring and other activities that would take up most of our time. There were definitely times when it felt like our lives just felt repetitive and monotonous. We both shared these feelings, and we always said when the kids were gone, we would go out to revive our marriage. Now, about 6 months ago, she starts telling me she isn't so sure we are best suited to be married to each other. She said we both make great parents, but not the best husband and wife. I was pretty hurt by her words, but it's futile trying to love someone who doesn't love you back. We agreed that after our son graduates from high school, we will go through with a divorce. We talked a good bit about this and how weren't made for each other. She'd say, I don't think I ever had hots for you, but you seemed like a loyal, reliable guy. This caught me pretty deep. I am not the most handsome guy in the world, but I am fit, tall, decently muscular, so I was pretty blindsided when she said this. Over time, I started feeling less and less for my wife. I'd stopped thinking of the impending divorce. It is lamenting the loss or so of my wife, but more so entering a different stage of my life. I had accomplished the goal of having smart, successful children, and now I can move on with my life. I didn't feel sad when I left my parents' home to go to college. I was in fact pretty excited. So I brought that fervor and excitement into my own life as moving on to the next stage where I am single. It's odd, even the impending divorce brought me a lot of internal happiness and excitement. I started becoming a more sociable guy. I knew that eventually I'd have to start dating all over again. So I decided to start laying down the groundwork for after I was divorced. During the marriage, much of my identity was around being a father and a family man. I started to change that and became more and more of myself, if that makes sense. I was making more friends, particularly female friends. I didn't really view this as cheating. It was nothing I wouldn't do if my wife was there with me. Things were going pretty well in my social circle. My new changes were getting me a lot of attention from the women there. They're all married. I overheard my wife talking to her good friend about my newfound swagger and charm. Interestingly enough, after my wife told me she didn't have the hots for me, this is when I feel like she started developing the hots for me. For most of our marriage, I had to be the one to initiate sex. Wife thought it was the man's job. While after she told me she didn't have the hots for me, it was a blow to my confidence, so I stopped initiating sex by a good bit. This is when my wife started to develop a sexual aggressiveness that I have never seen before. Before we would have sex 3 times a week, now we are going at it like 10 times in a week. There are times when both my children are up and awake and my wife would grab my hand and pull me away to the bedroom. She has recently told me that she doesn't want to go through with a divorce anymore and would like to work on our marriage. I don't know why, but I am upset hearing this. Although we don't have any problems going on in our marriage, I was honestly looking forward to the divorce. As lazy as this sounds, I was looking forward to sleeping around. I had a couple of girls practically lined up. The other thing I find strange is how my wife's feelings changed. There was a time a while back where I suspected she might be having an affair. I caught her in a lie about a gift from a coworker. One of my theories is she was having an affair. She wanted to go through with a divorce so she could get together with him. Their relationship soon fizzled out, so she now is rethinking divorce. However, besides the one lie, she hasn't done anything really to make me believe she was having an affair. I know one thing, that if she was to have an affair, my wife would know how to cover her tracks. Another thing is I am really confused about her attitude towards me and sex. She told me before she didn't have the hots for me now. She can't keep her hands off me. Did she say it and then felt bad so she's trying to make up for it? But if that was the case, why is our frequency of sex still so high? Does she have the hots for me now? If so, what is the cause of that? I haven't gotten physically any better, lost weight or anything. I haven't gotten a promotion. I have been happier, but that's it. But that is mainly towards other people. My attitude towards her has probably gotten worse. I'd say I became more aloof, a bit more sarcastic and teasing. There are a lot of things going on that I don't understand. I'm really looking for some outside perspective. As of now, I do want to go to divorce. So there might be a bias in the way I am presenting information.